Today, I'm here with Bruno, one of my online clients at Shredify. Guys, first off, Bruno has demanding desk job and he's very frequent traveling for the work and he has very busy schedule. Even with all of that on his plate, on your plate, Bruno, you've committed to transformation journey and you were reached already, I would say, incredible progress. Bruno, you're a living proof that no matter how packed is your calendar, if you have the right structure, accountability, and coaching, you can get results. Would you agree with me?
100% agree with you. Yes. I believe that it's not a matter of having time. It's about a matter of making time. And this is what I think makes a huge difference between having somebody that can support you in that journey, because then it becomes much easier to make time when you just show up at the gym, you have a program, you know what to go and buy at the grocery store. So when you outsource all of that part, which is brain capacity, to somebody that you trust, I guess that, yeah, so definitely agree with you.
Thank you so much, Bruno. So first question for today will be, before working with me, what challenges were you facing and how has your life, body, and mindset changed since starting with Shredify?
Okay, so let's start with the challenges. I think that I've always been very active and athletic in general. Like, I started since I was very young, doing lots of sports. So to me, showing up to the gym was just like, showing up to the gym with a level of confidence that was never there. Like, like you show up to the gym is like, oh, let me pick 50 kilos today and then 60 kilos tomorrow. But again, there is a level of going to the gym for the sake of going to the gym, which there is nothing wrong. And I've done that for the last maybe almost 20 years. And one of the big changes for me was really to bring that confidence when I walk into the gym, meaning I know what exercises I need to do. I know how many weights I need to carry. I know that last week, for example, I did 30 kilos and I'm going to do 35 kilos this week. Even, I used to write things on an iPhone notes, the kilos that I was gaining and stuff, even having an app, bringing that structure that you brought somehow, that helped a lot on the workout part. The nutrition to me is really what was a big change, because again, it's about doing things from logic and from your mind, but it's different than when you actually do it with structure and more, I want to say, thoughtful approach. You know how many calories you're eating per day. You know what type of food to eat, etc., etc. Again, I used to eat clean before, but now when I eat with more confidence. So I believe that that level of confidence in showing up to the gym and work out. When I eat, that's really maybe one of the things that really changed, I want to say, the most in terms of mindset, and overcoming some challenges. And obviously then the body follows, right? So when you have a good nutrition and good workout, then of course you see the results. So yeah.
Thank you. Second question. So how this transformation has impacted your confidence, daily energy, or just the basic day in your life, like how you show up outside of the gym,
Listen, I think that for you said busy, but also maybe lazy people. And I think that yes, busy, but also lazy somehow. I think that outsourcing that, some parts of your what you need to do to somebody that you trust, again, brings, removes one thing from the to-do list. And again, it may not seem much maybe to some people. To me, it really changed a lot. Already not thinking about what I need to go and buy to the groceries and what I need to cook for dinner and lunch, and what I need to do at the gym. It was a huge improvement somehow in making sure that I could maybe take that time to rest more or meditate more or do maybe different things. I don't know if it was Steve Jobs or one of the big tech guys eventually said that decided to buy all of the same clothes. So didn't have anything else but a white t-shirt and shorts, because didn't want to spend time thinking about what to wear in the morning, because it was quote unquote wasted time, So he somehow outsourced that to say, I want to buy 7 white t-shirts and seven black shorts, and I'm good, So is that thing of like, create peace of mind by having somebody doing some stuff for you. So yeah.
Makes sense. This is like, you know what I would say? Save your time for something else. So you don't need to think, you don't need to guess. And please agree with me if I'm correct. Because look, there are so many guys out there, they're sitting on the fence, but they don't trust. You were in their shoes. When we started, there was no trust basically. But what was the step? Like, if you just can clarify that, because yeah, we are speaking about a topic which is quite sensitive. People, they have fake beliefs about online coaching, and actually what is it all about? And there is no trust. And I understand that it cannot be trust there from day one. You were in their shoes. So if you can clarify on that, because you were talking about trust already.
Yeah. Listen, there are, I think that like, in my journey with you, maybe there were two moments of trust. One is the trust of, I don't know Luca. I know Luca from maybe Instagram, or, I know the social media face of Luca. So I kind of had to trust the fact that you came across somehow very credible when you were talking. So definitely, I think that the knowledge that you shared online definitely helped me having that level of trust at the beginning. I think that somehow also seeing how committed you are, not only on making others people look better or feel better, but like you show it also on yourself. Like you take care of yourself, you take care of your body. Like you show that you go out for a run, and you show that you go out for a run maybe in the middle of August when it's super hot outside. So again, like it gives you that sense of again reliability, right? So I found you like like very strong credibility somehow for like the content that I found, and then also again like somehow reliable in the way that you were present, right? And this is, I think, maybe moment number one. I also think that sometimes like you just need to try, like you cannot trust somebody 100% at the beginning and say, oh, this. So definitely there needs to be right in space. So that's maybe point number one. The second, I think, phase of trust, I think that then it built in a very, I think, organic way. And this is where I think that your presence, your time, you showing up, you answering my messages when I need, and I send you a lot of messages. You changing the program when I'm like maybe traveling, or I tell you, hey, like I'm leaving next, like so like even the idea that like your presence and proactivity in the sense of say, oh, Bruno, like you're traveling next week, let me prepare for you, a food nutrition that you can eat at the hotel, like even thinking about this stuff, like it creates that sense of intimacy somehow, like so that helps obviously to build that trust, and this is definitely part. The final part is that I also find you very how can I say, like very selfless, like like you really work for the benefit of others, and I can see how passionate you are to do that for people. And like I see sometimes that if I don't go to the gym 5 times, if I go 4, you feel upset. As opposed to me feeling upset, you feel upset. So like you're very invested in my success somehow. So I think that all of this says a lot about the amazing person that you are, but creates that trust somehow that I have in you.
Thank you so much, first of all. And I think you helped now with this answer to many guys who will watch this. Now we are moving to most important part. What's been the most valuable part of working with me as your coach? If you can highlight one thing, just.
Listen, like putting aside really, I mean, it's one thing is difficult to pinpoint one thing, because there are really many things that I love working with you. I think that if we put the professional part aside, because we know that you're good, I think that also from a personal perspective, like it's very enriching talking to you. So somehow you make me feel safe to talk to you. You make me feel comfortable. I think that from a personal perspective, you're also a good person. So I think that is definitely, I want to say, really the most valuable part, because I can also go on, maybe not, but let me just say it as an example. I can go on ChatGPT and say, hey, can you create me the program for the next
You should say
1
that.
month?
It's true.
And
True.
I can, But then, like at the end of the day, going to the gym, like you bring it down to a personal thing. Like, it's not an Excel sheet. Like, it's you going to the gym. So I think that having that personal interface, um, somebody that you trust and somebody that, again, like, you feel comfortable sharing your things with, is probably the most valuable thing. Again, it becomes a personal relationship more than a professional one. So this is what I think for me was probably one of the most valuable parts of working together.
Well, I highly appreciate what you've said right now, and I think this is a really good thing to understand that yes, you can go and download the nutrition plan and training plan within 30 seconds, but the question is how long it will last. You go there, yeah,
Yeah.
you show up once, twice, and then you say, oh, it's not the same as you said. And I really appreciate what you've said now. Bruno, basically, you've been before with the coaches, and what makes this coaching experience different from the other programs or approaches you've tried before?
You.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. What makes it different is that, from my experience, and maybe other people worked with other people before, but I think that definitely the nutrition part is not something that I would get in the past. I do love working with coaches and trainers in general. I had a trainer for example, 4 years, and I did calisthenics for 4 years, like, body weight. And it was amazing. And I was going with him, like, 5 times a week. Fantastic trainer. And then, I worked also with others, really, really good trainers, but like, on the technical side and also on the personal side. But again, like, the nutrition part, I think it's something that is a huge value add that I didn't find anywhere else before. So that I want to say is definitely, definitely a big thing. The level of also of facilitation through technology that you bring in, again, like, sometimes like you work through Excel sheets, or I don't know what. So again, having the app that shows you how many kilos you did the week before, it's so easy, like it just like it tracks everything there. This the like, the pause, the time break, like, so that element I think is also good. And like I don't want to repeat myself, but I think that your ongoing presence somehow is very, very unique, like somehow I think that that's very unique. And again, it's personal from a one-on-one perspective, but like you also set up this WhatsApp group. And let me be honest, at the beginning I was a little bit reticent when you said, "Oh, why don't you join the WhatsApp group?" And I'm like, another group, but again, like, it's nice. It's actually nice, it brings the element of, it brings an additional, let's say, touch point from
community.
maybe other people that are on a different journey or a similar journey, or like sometimes I don't know, like you see that Luca is out for a run, or somebody else is on a treadmill. So it's nice, like, it's just like it adds that presence, somehow. And yeah, so I would say these are, the major things that I find different with other programs.
Thank you, Bruno. I mean, this is all about user experience, and I can assure one thing that I treat everyone as individual. With me, there is, as you know, there is no cookie cutters PDF programs, and that there everything is personalized to a person. So I just want to highlight those two things. Obviously, this is all technical stuff, but you mentioned many things already, and I'm very thankful. Bruno, last question for today: if somebody is on the fence about joining, what would you tell them honestly?
Just do it. Very simple. Sometimes you don't need to think too much. You need to look at Luca, and also somehow, like, feel, can this person, like, help me? Can I trust this person? Can I relate to some of the stories that I hear from others?
Can you help me
Um,
just hold on for a second, please? And I'm really sorry for interrupting because the most common thing is value versus investment. But when they see what they're investing, what is the value? If you can just
okay.
spot this and highlight, I think this is the most common objection that I get. Like, okay, value versus investment. Like, what do I get for my money? So if you can just like one small,
Mm.
like if you can help on this level.
Listen, I understand, like, like we can all have doubts about should I sign up for the, another subscription, another program, another stuff, like, so yes, like, it's a mental, but it's also a financial commitment, and I hear you. So I want to say that, like, probably everything that I said in the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes majorly outweighs. I really want to say, like, any cost that you can pay for what you get. Because again, you don't just get a program on a piece of paper, you get so much more than that. Like, so you get quality presence from a very good guy who, is really invested in your also personal growth, that has a lot more to do than just going to the gym and lifting some weights. It really taps on different dimensions. These are the dimensions that I touched earlier, like, so um, even having this, I don't know, maybe weekly meeting that we have now because I'm traveling, somehow, like, it's a touch point also with somebody who somehow knows me and can help me, also guide me maybe in one part of my life. So again, you said it yourself, like, it's an investment, right? But as much as, let's say, you invest in a ChatGPT subscription because it gives you better answer, or you invest in, I don't know, in Google stocks because you hope that it will return 10% in 1 year. Well, it's the same thing, right? I mean, it's really an investment, and it's not a cost. It's not again, like, you're investing in your own well-being, you're investing in your own body, and yeah, so again, to me, it's a no-brainer. So that's why when you say, like, when you say if somebody's on the fence, what would you tell them? Just do it, because only if you try, then you realize that there is so much value. And look, let's be honest, maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe somebody tries and then they're like, you know what, this isn't for me, and that's also okay. But it's like my suggestion is just try and see if you like it. If you don't like it, what is it? Like, you invested 3 months of your life and, I don't know, some hundreds of dollars, and what has changed, So you can make a better and informed decision after you see what you get.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I'm standing for. And Bruno, I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time, and this was really helpful. I believe that people will get so many information out of here. And what to say? Thank you so much. I do appreciate you.
Thank you for trusting me. I could have said so many bad things, and
No, as I said, like I just want to say something on the back end. You said to me before we started, man, but you haven't sent me any questions. I said, man, why would I send anything if I know the guy in front of me is hitting, smashing the goals, doing everything from A to Z? Why would I set anything,